Salute, salute, salute to everybody. This is your boy King Jr. back at y'all with some more boxing news. And it looks like Errol Spence Jr. team, aka Derek James, one of the greatest trainers I ever seen in boxing today, Hall of Fame trainer for sure, says recently, that Terence Crawford, well, actually Derek James been saying this for a while, that he see certain flaws in Terence Crawford that Crawford might be in a world of trouble. And Derek James sees it the way I see it. Terence Crawford, like I said before, is an exceptional talent. He's a great fighter, bad dude on the planet. But I noticed stuff started to happen to Crawford when he got older. And a lot of people say, man, you're reaching. Man, you can't say that about Crawford. I can say whatever I want about Crawford because it's my opinion. I have every right to express my opinion and give it to you the best way I can give it to you. And maybe some people might understand it. But if you don't understand it, that's cool. So, anyway, Crawford, you know, has recently slowed down. Like I said before, he's a guy that requires a lot on his athleticism. If you look at Crawford when he was around 20 years old, in his mid 20s and early 30s, Crawford was athletic, very athletic fighter, and he was just explosive, very versatile. He was knocking out cats nasty. But Crawford started to change, when his switch hitting, his orthodox to southpaw stance started to change because, as you see, Crawford might stay in the orthodox stance for a few rounds, and then he'll stay in southpaw for the rest of the fight. And I noticed that was a big red flag when I seen that fight with Sean Porter. It's like Crawford only went orthodox for a couple of times, and throughout the whole entire fight, he stick to southpaw because he feels like he's better on defense in southpaw and he can get to his opponent a little bit better than orthodox. That's just how I see it. But other boxing pundits might see it a little bit different than me. So Derek James even seen some flaws in Crawford's game, and one thing that sticks out to Derek James is Crawford's athleticism. You can try to muscle your way out with your athleticism, but Derek James feels like that's not going to work with Errol Spence, and I feel the same way because you can only take your athleticism to a certain extent. As you get older, your athleticism started to fade. Now, don't get me wrong, Terence Crawford keeps his bodies in very, very good condition. Terence Crawford do not have a long history of injuries. So it might help him more in the fight. Maybe Terence Crawford still has some athleticism left, but he's not that explosive guy that I used to see from 140 pounds. And as you get older, your athleticism is starting to fade. And Terence Crawford is a athletic boxer puncher. And, at the end of the day, Terence Crawford fundamentals is good. It's decent. But in my opinion, I don't think his fundamentals is better than Errol Spence. Because sometimes Crawford gets hit with a punch that he should have got out the way. And you guys seen it when he fought Igis Kavalakis. He got hit with a punch and he got floored. Igis Kavalakis was roughing Terence Crawford up, showing that he was a dog as well. And look, he dropped Terence Crawford on the knee. He didn't drop it completely, but he dropped him on the knee. So at the end of the day, Terence Crawford has a lot of hard work, hard training he's going to have to do for Errol Spence Jr. because it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a walk in the park for Errol Spence. But if Errol Spence, been training like he's been doing damage like he's been doing, like he did Ugas, if that version of Errol Spence shows up, that Ugas version beats Terence Crawford. Not the part where everybody say, well, Errol got rocked. Errol's about to get rocked. He dropped his mouthpiece. He thought the ref was going to see it, and it was Errol Spence's fault. He should have kept his guard up and not looked down for a second. He almost got knocked out himself, but at least we know Errol Spence have a chin. And what's going to be scary for Terence Crawford is if Errol Spence takes that power. If Errol Spence takes Terence Crawford power and he's just ready to mow through him, Terence Crawford's going to be in a world of trouble. And Terence Crawford has knocked out a lot of opponents. He's knocked out a lot of opponents. He hasn't been in a UD decision for a while. But me personally, like I said before, Terence Crawford is on the decline of his career. People say 35 is at his prime, but I don't see 35 at his prime. I see Terence Crawford as an aging superstar that is ready to get out the sport, looking for the biggest bag, and he's just looking to retire. Because even if he loses to Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford might have 2 more fights under his belt, and then he's probably going to retire. But who knows what's going to happen? Both of these guys are great fighters, but legendary trainer Derek James sees it. Well, Derek James and Errol Spence, I'm going to say both, sees it as, I can beat that. I can take that style. I'm not afraid of that. We know how to beat Terence Crawford. We came into a game plan to beat Terence Crawford, and we will beat Terence Crawford. And Errol Spence, like I said before, he's the hungriest fighter. I think Errol Spence is a hungrier fighter than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford looks like he's ready. Well, his demeanor looks like he's just ready to lead the sport. He's ready to be with his family, spend more time with his family, raise his kids and stuff like that. He just seemed relaxed. Errol Spence looked like he's ready to go. He's not playing. He's going to hurt you, man. That's all I'm going to say. He's going to hurt you. If you don't come prepared at 100%, Errol Spence will hurt you. And I wish you nothing but the best, Terence Crawford. So, with that being said, guys, it looks like Derek James and Errol Spence Jr. see some big problems in Terence Crawford game plan to think to take down Errol Spence, but I don't think he's going to take down Errol Spence. Who knows what happens in the sport of boxing? With that being said, guys, it is what it is at the end of the day. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on your way in the building and on your way out in the building. This is your boy King Jr. I will be back with y'all with some more boxing news. I'm out. Peace.